Beloved star, warmest welcome to Elven Pod 82. And this one is returning as the Immortal Tree of Peace. And this is the great potentiality of each one of us in the now in a way I have never witnessed before. And I have just held the most epical aurora transmission I think I've ever held to my own heart anyway, so it feels. And I feel as though it's always been woven there beneath everything we've ever traveled through, and yet it came into full manifestation, full expression just now. So if you've ever felt like joining Elven Aurora, this is the most special moment. And I would so love you to, because I would love you to experience this full transmission that is beyond special. And I'm going to share it now as well as I can in a nutshell, this essence of what's transpiring in our current ascension energy, what it means, this returning as the Immortal Tree of Peace, what it means to us as those creating our beautiful realities. What does this mean? What does this bring to us in the now and the evolution of presence? So, the Immortal Tree of Peace of all worlds. This is the expression, if you like. It's like the toroidal field that emanates forth from the light of the great central sun, which is my own expression and my own elven lineage expression of the source, God, goddess, source, spirit. And its emanation force is that first light from the void, oneness with the void and the mystery beyond. So it's that original emptiness and luminosity, that light of the great central sun emanating forth. And from the light of the great central sun, there is a magnificent toroidal field. It's that incredible donut-shaped like design, and the inner eye vision as I speak to you appearing golden beyond all goldenness. In truth, it is diamond source radiance beyond which we can give any color of this world. And it does, just like the Celtic tree of life. If you've seen the knotwork designs where the central trunk goes up and then the branches curve around the top, and the great canopy actually then links in a beautiful knotwork design around the edges, forming a circle right back down around to the roots that it interfuses with. So essentially you have a tree within a circle, as it were, and yet the tree is both the trunk, the branches, the roots, and the circle that's forged by the complete union and unity of its field. And that's what we are. That is what our hearts are. And that is what Source itself is and expresses as. And that, if you like, is the more geometrical way of describing, the toroidal field is the more geometrical way of describing what the Elven call, and many traditions of this earth call, the Immortal Tree of Peace, or the Tree of Life. And it is, if you like, the causal and celestial plane dimensionality of source energy, where all acts as an interconnected whole, all acts in consciously realized and manifest wholeness. And the home star, the home world that you come from, is the, if you like, one of the golden blossoms, the Elven call them, the golden blossoms of the Immortal Tree of Peace. So each one of us is a star, is a sun of this Immortal Tree of Peace, and our ascension is the restoration of ourselves as this presence. Because when we function as this presence, we are operating as a part, consciously as a part of that greater whole. We are that beautiful blossom in oneness, in awareness of the greatness of that tree and its many leaves, its many branches, its myriad roots, and its other golden blossoms, golden stars. So it's an extraordinary level of consciousness to embody from, and in truth, it's what's most profoundly natural to us, and it's what's awakening within the heart of our ascension. And in this state, we become synchronized to our purest levels of source intention and our purest levels of inspiration. So you really get into that place where you're creating from the very heart of who you are, of what you love, really creating from there in purity and getting ever more clear and refined levels of guidance around how that expresses. just ways that in the past you may have longed to access it, that, and in truth you felt that you are, but it's been almost as though just beyond reach. Like refined levels that come and go through our dream time, that come and go in our journeys, for those of us who shamanic journey or dream in the waking dream, as it were, that it's just there, and yet often for our embodied experience, as though it's a sacred activity and a dimensionality of creation and inspiration that for our bodies remains often just out of reach. And that's the physical experience that's actually becoming available, is that we get that embodied level of inspiration, that embodied level of divine activity, of vast, enduring purpose. And a tree of peace might sound quite solid and quite fixed, and peace itself can seem like something that is just an unutterable stillness. And at some levels, you may feel this moon now, as we get into the heart of the oak moon, which is the heart of this energy in our ascension cycle of the solar year, that we feel a kind of stillness that begins to come to be. Yet that stillness in this now moment could pull us one of two ways. It can either pull you into the inertia of old linear timeline habits, kind of like a vibrational dip. And we can feel in that stillness the pull of old patternings. But equally, within that stillness, we can feel the movement or the momentum within that source radiance, within that stillness, that is a movement beyond the kind of movement we've known. So it's not an inertia. It's the pull of something that is a different kind of momentum within us, and that is in fact profoundly dynamic, profoundly active, profoundly alive. This is not a static variant of peace. This is not about escaping into a stillness that is a final rest from all of our strife and all of our strivings and all of our challenges. It is a profoundly dynamic and activated movement within the deepest hearts of our purpose and what we most truly care about, what we're most inspired to express and be and become. And the faith, the confidence in our bodies feeling confident that this is something that we could express in the physical, that we could be. So watch for that this week. There's a kind of gateway opening now to the deepened sphere of the confidence within you to experience this. But it may feel like quite a tender gateway, almost like it's a gateway that could go either way, where you could feel instead the kind of pull into a kind of inertia and feel the magnetism of physicalized old habits or old relational patterns, old dipping out of the magnificence of your seventh dimensional star creator presence, of what you'd really love to express and bring through, which is your Stargate presence that belongs to this immortal tree of peace. So just noticing that, and noticing that if you allow the true nature of this stillness and keep opening within the heart of yourself, even if it's not in a super biggest, expanded, insightful, radiant kind of a way, and it's just more like opening a little portal, a little golden gateway within yourself that is just full of this movement, full of this toroidal dimensionality, this self-sustaining infinite movement and interconnectivity within yourself, this seventh dimensional state, just opening a little portal to that movement that is the natural state of your innermost heart, the immortal starlight of I Am presence, just opening that gateway. And in that space, holding that level of intention, you will allow the gentle expansions into this dimensionality, into this level of interconnection, of coherence beyond coherence, of ways we are creating and co-creating at the causal and celestial levels. So within this, you can really let yourself experience the beauty of it. If I give a little example, when I'm gardening, when I'm in this synchronization, I start to feel the golden and the silver leaves of dimensions beyond this world, of the causal and celestial dimensions that my soul star flows from. And I start to feel them interwoven through the living now moment, that I'm actually creating through and across these planes in this living now moment. So we get this beginning to feel this activity that belongs to a causal and celestial dimensionality of ourselves, levels of purpose that are just infinite and enduring and vast. So with that, you get to ride the new tide, if you like. You're riding the new tide, just opening your heart, daring to believe, really now. And I know you may have touched upon these levels of feelings many times in your dream time and in your waking dream. But I just want to invite you to believe, to let your body open to a new belief that actually there's a new level of sustained physical experience of this, that you can actualize this at a new level within your being, within yourself, gently, deeply, within the space of you, opening that gateway. And we let the old invitations, the old pull of the linear timelines phase out. And if you dip into them, it's absolutely fine. That's the beauty of learning. We are learning. We learn through our beautiful challenges. We learn through our lives on the ground, moment to moment. So if you dip, if you fall, if you solidify into that fourth dimensional, very set timeline, feeling more confined, feeling more fixed, feeling less choice, feeling caught into drama or polarization, just becoming aware, gently aware, absolute self-forgiveness, getting a bit of stillness, coming back to the heart and inviting in this other experience, within the heart of which is this Stargate presence, this infinite movement, this freedom of the immortal starlight within you. And in that state, just letting that movement, that toroidal state of the Stargate that you are, set in motion, inviting yourself to the even bigger levels of coherence that are wanting to be experienced by you. The angelic arcs that I spoke of last time, the angelic synchronization, and now the synchronization with the Immortal Tree of Peace. And whether you experience it as literally as the Immortal Tree of Peace, or as almost as though myriad causal celestial dimensionality, just infinitely layered, sphere of intention upon intention, each of which is vast and yet infinitely coordinated. It's that kind of level within the stillness that is the magnificence of what we are synchronizing with. And within that is so much support. Within that is support of the ultimate light of that which you are. It's like the new sphere of relationship, the new sphere of the communication with who you are, what you're supported by in your becoming, as well as that which you support in your vastest intention. So I will let that for now, because it's so huge, and to encapsulate within a pod is more, in a sense, than is possible. But I hope this little spark has been enough I look for the words as I speak. I look for the words, I feel for the synchronization of the vibration as I share, so that some of it or all of it, however much of it, becomes that attunement, becomes that locking in, if you like, that locking in of this offering, of this potentiality within our Ascension continuum that is present to us, and that the Elven are sharing, that they are bringing forward. So much love, so many blessings upon this phase. May you actualize the full magnificence of this potentiality within the now, and be in the joy of its exploration. So much love. Tanere ona tien, thania tara itian ara. So much love. Farewell for now.